Dan Rubenstein, we've got bowl preview part duh. On today's episode, we did a big old bowl preview a couple episodes back. Go listen to part 1 if you want to get caught up on that front. We did our playoff preview, which dropped to the feed out on Tuesday. And now on this here Thursday, before all hell breaks loose, and we have our first round of the college football playoff. Some of you may be listening to this after the fact, after they've played a game or two. Nonetheless, bowl preview part 2. We've got games that start on Saturday, the 28th of December, and run the full way through bowl season. So these are games that are non-playoff games. We have given them their own show. We're going to talk through all of those matchups and more, trophies. You know where I come down on that sort of thing, Dan. Got a lot to discuss here. We had an hour and 45-minute show.
Oh, man, I don't know if I have the energy for that again. I was
a
young man back then.
We were young and full of life, yes.
Yeah.
Bowl preview part 1 was a big one. We're going to, I think, cut some of the news out here. We're going to skip right to the bowls shortly, my friend. How goes it today? You look very dapper, if I don't say so
Thank you
myself.
very much. If you're watching on YouTube at an enhanced bit rate, perhaps, then, yeah, I'm wearing a very rare button-down shirt situation. Long story. Real rough day in court for me, Ty. Didn't go the way I thought. No, I wouldn't like court. No Memphis, West Virginia talk. You don't want to Memphis getting 11 wins? 42-37 over West Virginia. Can you believe a quarterback laid it down on West Virginia for only the 10th time this year?
Shocker.
Woo!
I know. We're all very surprised. Yes, there will be an episode at some point coming here in the very near future where we recap some of the bowl action, but congratulations to Memphis.
This was the Scooters Frisco situation?
This is the Frisco situation, if you want to call it that. Yeah, the Scooters Frisco situation. We had a lot of points.
We did.
A lot of points.
Yeah, well, we're going to do a bowl recap later on.
Going out to playbowlbingo.com. Here is the way this works. If you are listening to this episode on Thursday, December the 19th, or really at any point before the games start up on the 21st, you will have an opportunity to enter for week 1 of Bowl Bingo. It runs for a week from the 21st through the 27th. We are going to, on this episode, start unveiling some of the other picks that you can put on your bingo card. You will also see another bingo card go live shortly. We're going to have some overlapping bingo cards in a sense so that you can stay out in front of all the action you can play every week. We have details to follow about prizes and the fun stuff that we are working on behind the scenes to make this worth your while. But it is free to play. If you go to playbowlbingo.com or if you go on out to our Patreon, all you got to do is sign up for the free tier. Each week, we're going to ask you to fill out a bingo card of 6 things. On that bingo card, if you get all 6 right, obviously you'll be a winner. More to come on that front, what that means, okay?
Are we going to reveal our picks, or do we not want to influence? I made my picks yesterday.
Oh, you did?
It was very difficult.
It is difficult, isn't it? But it's fun. It's
so fun.
It's very different.
It's tricky. I loved it.
But it is tricky. Yeah, we could talk about our picks a little bit later on, but I think we should just dive in here, man.
Let's do it.
The barge with the bowls is here. All aboard.
Give me that foghorn, Dan. Let's talk bowl preview part. Duh.
Yeah.
I am dismayed by what I am finding on the trophy front in this batch of bowls.
Which is?
I mean, there are some bangers in here, don't get me wrong. But it's just so apparent to me that we are living through the lazy Lombardi era with regard to trophies here. And someone needs to speak up about it. I have elected myself to be that person. I was hoping for more. I will talk through each and every one of these bowl trophies. I have had the opportunity to go back and look at them again.
I appreciate it. I think it's one of the early ones we're talking about. The Fenway Bowl?
The Fenway Bowl, it's the first one we're talking about.
I would have liked more of a green monstery presence to it, but I can also appreciate the shape of it is very Fenway-ish.
Well, see, here's the thing with the trophy, okay?
Yeah.
Go back and listen. You can hear my rant on the last show.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing the silver or the gold football atop the pedestal. And all they really do is change the pedestal.
Yeah.
Now, in this case, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl,
like they
Saturday,
had 13 minutes of notice to find a trophy for the game. Kickoff is in a half hour. Like,
exactly.
Quick, anything you can find.
Go to the dollar store, find a trophy. This is what like the Myrtle Beach Bowl, I swear this is what 68 Ventures did. They're renowned for their real estate development. It looks like this trophy came from somebody's white elephant. All right. This is not exactly a creative spin on a trophy, a crystal bowl that you put punch or shrimp cocktail in.
Right.
But this is a quality effort from the Wasabi Fenway Bowl people. They play this game December the 28th, 11 a.m. Eastern time, bright and early. It is UConn. It is North Carolina. North Carolina is favored by 2.5 points. I think what they were doing here with this bowl trophy is they're like, we've got a cool venue. Let's make the base look like Fenway Park. Even if we're still doing the football thing at the top.
Right.
Let's just make the base look like Fenway Park. There is room for improvement. I could go for a little bit more detail in that base stand. Maybe some inlaid wood. Something to give it more texture, but I'm not going to knock the effort. I like that they're at least steering into what this game represents.
Some sort of hybrid home plate football, something that you're playing this bowl football game in a baseball venue. It would have been nice to split the difference there. Maybe take in some of Boston lore, maybe a tri-corner hat, something like that.
Yeah.
Some,
I like
some
it.
Paul Revere illusion. I don't know. Something would have been cool. But you know what? Here's what you can do. If you are any of these bowl games, or let's say you are in charge of the bowl consortium, you hire Ty and me at a flat fee.
Flat fee.
We
won't do the
brainstorm.
hourly. Not hourly, just a flat fee. Yeah.
Ty's got a Rolodex full of silversmiths.
I do.
Everybody knows that about him. And let's bang out some memorable trophies.
This is a game again between UConn and North Carolina. Omarion Hampton is declared for the draft, the star running back for UNC. I have not seen if he's opting out, though. My assumption
I believe
is yes.
he is. Yeah.
My assumption is yes. I believe he is as well. I did not see that definitively, but obviously we're covering a lot here, so I may have missed that. The subplot I'm actually most interested in is whether Belichick's going to be back in Boston for this one.
Oh, true. Yeah. By the way, he will not participate in the Fenway Bowl per the Charlotte Observer, Omarion Hampton.
Okay. All right. Okay. So he's out. I still think Carolina's better, Dan. I think UConn's a better story.
Yeah.
And I think UConn's better than most people probably think, but I still tend to favor North Carolina in this matchup. Maybe something like 31-24.
It was snug at the end against Syracuse, I want to say, for UConn a couple weeks ago. In your classic Jim Boeheim UConn. Why am I forgetting the legendary UConn head basketball coach's name? Calhoun? Jim Calhoun?
Jim Calhoun, yep.
Calhoun against Boeheim. It was a nice year for UConn. Pretty balanced team. They were just quality team that won games. Vibes are obviously terrific with North Carolina right now. New coach, but I'm still going to go North Carolina. I think the combo of vibes, even though they were hit a little bit hard, I think it was like 10 or 11 people in, but then a few withdrew from the portal once the Belichick announcement was live.
Yeah.
Curious about what it would be like to play for a legendary coach like Belichick. So I think the vibes are good enough, even though this is not a Bill Belichick team yet. I'm going to go UNC here in the Fenway Bowl to get it done.
I like that. Do we have any thoughts, though, on what we could bet on the side here? Like if we're adding things to the bingo card.
Well, it'd be nice if we had confirmation that he was going to be there for number of cutaways, something like that. But then that's very tricky to count. We would need a dedicated person. UConn, North Carolina. Feels like defense won't be a huge focus in this game. We have the spread once again.
The spread's 2.5 in favor of North Carolina.
Right.
I like to kind of zag a little bit, and I think we're in agreement. So the over-under is 54.5.
Give me a zagaroo.
Let's put on the bingo card under 54.5.
Okay, maybe
Under
a little
the
bit
total.
Sloppy. Baseball stadium.
Under the
weird
total.
sights. Okay,
That's all.
I like that.
Under the total. Just keep it. We'll start very simply here.
Okay.
We are going through, again, for people who are wondering, what the hell is this? We are picking props that we're going to add to your bingo cards. Okay. Under 54.5. Keep it simple.
Let's do it.
Let's stay on Saturday. Saturday's a big game, by the way. A big day of games, by the way.
Yes, it is.
8 bowl games on Saturday, December the 28th. This one's at high noon. This is the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, Dan.
Another baseball stadium.
Another baseball stadium is Boston College at 7-5. It is Nebraska at 6-6. Nebraska is favored by 2.5 points. The news on the BC front, they landed Dylan Lonergan from
Alabama
in the portal, one of their backup quarterbacks. So curious to see how that works out moving
I assume
forward.
some crossover with Bill O'Brien is my assumption. Yeah.
That's my assumption as well. BC has a couple opt-outs. They're starting right tackle. Donovan Izaraku, their defensive end, is out as well. Nebraska's got a starting linebacker, as well as Jamari Butler, who's going to LSU via the transfer portal, as well as Dante Dowdell.
Leading rusher, yeah.
Their leading rusher. So a handful of guys I think will hurt their depth more than anything here. I went back and forth on this one a bunch of times, and I ultimately came down on Boston College. I think
I'm in on BC too.
And I can't really put a finger on why, but it feels to me like, A, this one's a little bit closer to home, and B, with the way this season ended for Nebraska, they sort of went out with a bit of a whimper, you know?
Sure.
I just wonder if their heads are in this one. There's also kind of like quasi smoke, even though Dylan Raiola extinguished it by saying he's all in on Nebraska. There was some smoke that there were people calling for his services as well, and that there could be a transfer portal thing. There is not at time of recording. I don't think there will be, but maybe some distractions, maybe going out the way they did this season. That leads me to go Boston College outright here.
Yeah, I think the focus with Nebraska is so squarely on next year. But it's nice that Nebraska got to a bowl game. I don't think they're taking it for granted here, but with the ins and outs portal-wise, the vibes seem to be better in Boston College. They won, what did they win to finish out the year? I think they finished winning 3 of 4. They had a nice start. Both of these teams gave away a couple of close opportunities, most notably Boston College with Louisville was within their grasp. I think they had a fourth quarter lead in that one. So really not terribly far off from a 9-3 opening salvo for Bill O'Brien at BC. Better than I thought that they would do in year one, given all of, how Jeff Hafley left. I'm going to go BC here. I think they're a little bit more complete. It just seems like another Matt Rule team with a promising defense, obviously lost their defensive coordinator, and an offense that really didn't do much all year long. They weren't a disaster, but they were not anywhere near a strength of this team. And so, I don't know. I think Boston College has more ways to win. It's in the Northeast. And you know this as well as anybody, Ty, with your Pinstripe Bowl experience. When a team is looking past it, doesn't necessarily think they are compatible with what the Pinstripe Bowl is. Yeah. Saw it out of Miami recently, right? Isn't that who Rutgers?
Miami lost to Rutgers in the Pinstripe Bowl, yeah.
I think Nebraska's looking past it. I'm going BC here.
I'm on BC as well. Bets. Let's throw, folks, what appears to be a gimme. And let's say Dylan Raiola over 1 touchdown pass.
Over 1 touchdown pass.
Over a half a touchdown pass so that we have a definitive result.
Over a half of a touchdown pass.
If he gets 1 touchdown pass, you hit. Okay? Seems like a gimme.
Boston College, pretty good pass defense. Didn't allow a ton of big pass plays. Was one of the strengths of the team. Okay. Not unstoppable.
We also could go Boston College money line or just Boston College to win.
I like Boston College to win as the bet.
Okay. Those are our 2 for this one, okay?
Yes.
They call this one the George M. Steinbrenner Trophy.
Oh,
Goes to the winner. It's another Lombardi Trophy knockoff. I'm beside myself.
Are you kidding me?
The only reason I'm not going to fully knock this one, they did incorporate a little bit of Yankee Stadium into this. It's got, on the base, it has the Yankee Stadium facade.
Yeah. But this is like it's not new anymore, but this isn't like the legendary Yankee Stadium. It's Fenway. It's a newer Yankee Stadium.
This is the newer version of it. But the facade is historic. The facade is what makes Yankee Stadium, or one of the landmarks of Yankee Stadium.
Is it a striped trophy at least?
No.
So it's a pinstripe bowl, but there's no stripy element to the trophy itself.
I guess you could consider these support beams that are sort of curved,
right,
and go up and hold the Lombardi football, maybe as your pinstripes if you want to. But
why not have like the torch from the Statue of Liberty? If this is New York's one true bowl game, do something like that.
The only saving grace is that they incorporated some of Yankee Stadium into this. They had an opportunity to flex with this trophy, by the way. They should have made this a football themed World Series trophy. As the winningest, like most historic baseball team. playing in Yankee Stadium, they should have made a knockoff of the Commissioner's Trophy, which they have for Major League Baseball,
Sure.
and given it out to the winner here. That's
Well,
what they should do.
Let's hope whoever in this game, whether it's Boston College, whether it's Nebraska, has a better time in the stadium than the Yankees did in that 5th inning against the Dodgers.
Moving on.
I'll break it down pitch by pitch, Ty, if you'd like.
Saturday, December 28th, 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Is it the Isleta or the Isleta New Mexico Bowl? I don't know how you say that word.
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's Isleta.
Isleta?
Isleta.
Isleta, New Mexico Bowl. It is Louisiana at 10-3. It is TCU at 8-4. TCU favored by 13 points. Dan, I don't know who's playing quarterback for Louisiana. I think that's part of the issue.
It looks like Isleta.
Isleta. Thank you.
Isleta. Yeah.
Chandler Fields got carted off in the title game for Louisiana. I think they're going to be starting a true freshman in Daniel Beal.
Okay.
If Fields is unable to go. I have not seen confirmation on that. I think, meanwhile, you're going to get mostly a full boat from TCU. Sonny Dykes is not expecting any opt-outs here. So if you're in a confidence pool, I consider going pretty heavy on TCU outright.
Yes.
Pretty heavy on TCU outright. I like TCU. I think they're the better team here. One of the bets we're going to put on the card is TCU minus 13 because that's a big number in bowl season. And if you like TCU the way I like TCU, it doesn't look as big, but TCU minus the number is significant. We should put something on the Louisiana quarterback situation. I feel like Louisiana passing yards over X number. And maybe we can leave that one to the betting markets to decide exactly how much. But given that there is some uncertainty, it's an interesting proposition. It's also an interesting proposition because it's not exactly like TCU is playing lockdown defense, right?
No.
It's just not their thing.
No.
So I kind of think Louisiana passing yards over whatever that total is something that we should incorporate here just to keep people kind of on their toes.
So you're saying a backup quarterback, true freshman, throwing for Louisiana against an improved but still kind of so-so TCU defense, which, by the way, TCU finished the season winning 5 of 6.
Yes, they did.
And had 2 of the more notable GACs of the 2024 season against Baylor and UCF, if memory serves.
That's right.
Field goal late against Baylor and giving up a big lead to UCF. Obviously, Frog fans like, why are you bringing up old stuff, Dan? Let's be cool. This is a fun time to celebrate the Frogs. But they were like 4.5 seconds away from 10 wins, I want to say, this year.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, let's go. What's the number you were thinking? 199.5?
Well, I'm content to leave the betting markets to decide. Like if there is an actual line on this, we'll
Louisiana
go with
passing
that.
yards.
Yeah, if there's a line on that, we'll go with it. But otherwise, I would set it at like 189.5.
Okay. So it'll be in that vicinity.
See. One or the other. But that's sort of how I'm feeling about this. People on Discord were like, you could be way off in these lines, to which I responded, setting arbitrary lines may be one of the few things I'm actually good at in this life. I'm very good at this. I can't explain why. But that's where I'm thinking, 189.5.
By the way, it's Lance Lejeune, right?
Yes.
For Louisiana, the Maryland quarterback transfer who had himself a nice year, leading the way for Louisiana receivers. Good story.
Yeah. Hell yeah to this trophy. Hell yeah to this trophy.
Okay.
The New Mexico Bowl trophy is a Native American clay pot meticulously handcrafted by artists Marcellus and Elizabeth Media from the Zia Pueblo. The 20-inch bowl-shaped pottery features the iconic Zia sun symbol, images of football players, a deer, mountain lion, buffalo, and eagle, Dan. This is custom freaking pottery with a story. Hell yes.
Take care of this winning team. Let's not have any incidents on the field. An heirloom trophy. Great.
How do you feel about pottery?
How do I feel about pottery?
Have you ever done pottery? Would you ever do pottery?
Regular or sensual with a ghost?
Regular.
You know what I'm referencing.
I know what you're referencing.
Okay. Swayze.
Yes, of course.
May he rest in peace. I'm pro pottery. I always enjoy seeing craft work by talented people. So I've never participated. I haven't had the pleasure of crafting clay with my bare hands, Ty.
Yeah.
But pro pottery? Are people anti-pottery?
I don't know if there's
Do
an
such people exist?
I don't know if there's an anti-pottery sect out there.
Yeah.
I can tell you I've been looking far and wide, not to break too much news here.
Are you getting into it? Are you going to fire up a kiln?
I'm not against it. There's a place that I've been scoping out in the area that may offer some pottery classes.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm really into this idea.
Are you really?
I'm really into this idea.
What? Where did this come from?
I mean, this is, I think, just been inside of me my entire life. I had like a battery-powered pottery wheel that I got for Christmas one year.
Oh my God, Todd.
Yeah.
We need to pull this string, see where it leads, get you glazing.
I'm looking, get me glazing. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to get some pottery classes at some point in the off season. And
holy hell. Okay, by the way, verballers.com to get updates on Ty's pottery pursuit.
We can start our very own podcast is what we can do after that.
How dare you come up with such a good idea.
Thank you. Thank you. Saturday, 3:30, Pop-Tarts Bowl, Dan.
Now, this is a trophy, friend.
This is an effing trophy, Dan.
Yeah.
This is a trophy. This is Iowa State at 10-3, Miami at 10-2. Miami favored by 3 points. I think this could be a fun game. This is going to be a fun game. Cam Ward said he's playing.
Yes.
I have not seen for sure the status of Xavier Restrepo. Last I saw, he didn't know what he was doing.
Okay.
But for the most part, looks like Miami's going to be intact. On the Iowa State side, Jalen Noel said that he expects all the seniors to play, so it could be a full boat on both sides here. I don't think there's any defense in this game. I think it's like the NBA All-Star game, okay? I think there's going to be a lot of points. I do think Miami is better. I also think Cam Ward is going to want to try and make a case to be a top 5 pick. So my hunch is to go Miami.
Okay.
My hunch is to go Miami on this one, Dan.
I think I go Miami as well, just because of what we highlighted in terms of Iowa State run defense deficiencies and
That's right.
some of the options that that Miami has toting the ball. Very quietly, a very good receiver game.
Yeah.
Between, I think it's Jaden Higgins, if he's playing, and Xavier Restrepo, if he's playing. So, no, this is just an incredible opportunity for points and shootout. Great.
Before we wax poetic about the trophy, we need
Please.
bets. We need bets for this game.
Total offense from Cam Ward, total rushing yards for Miami, total receiving yards for Jaden Higgins.
I think we know Cam Ward's playing because he said he's playing.
Right.
So there definitely should be a Cam Ward side bet here.
Okay.
Let's do Cam Ward. Total number of touchdowns. Cam Ward total touchdowns and interceptions.
Oh, okay.
Because for as much as I like Cam Ward,
wait, added together or
Yes.
the positive minus the negative?
No. We're not doing that. In total touchdowns, which would include passing touchdowns as well as rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
Or receiving touchdowns if they, I don't know.
Of course, do whatever you got to do.
It's a bowl game, who knows? Plus the number of interceptions, because Cam Ward is nothing more if not a playmaker. And we've seen some of those plays too this year. Okay.
What's your number? 5.5?
I think 5.5. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll say
4.5?
We'll say over. We'll say, we'll do Cam Ward total TDs and interceptions over 5.5 as well as under 5.5. Okay.
Okay.
I feel like that's something that people will have an opinion on that one. Any other Iowa State sides that are of interest to you?
Iowa State betting props in this one.
We could just go Iowa State plus the points since they're the underdog.
Yeah, go Iowa State plus points.
Iowa State plus the points. Our trophy in this game, Dan, is impeccable. Impeccable. This is a 360 tomahawk slam dunk on the lazy Lombardi era that we're living through right now.
I agree.
So to the eye, it looks like a rich man's version of the Lombardi style trophy that everyone's given out, right? With the football on top and a lot of silver and all that. That is until you discover that Pop-Tarts, Dan, partnered with GE Appliances to
Great.
build a functioning toaster inside the trophy. Inside the football at the top has 2 slots into which you can fit Pop-Tarts.
Yes.
They recently unveiled this thing, as is always the case now, it seems, with the Pop-Tart Bowl. Everybody involved with college football media took a beat, talked about the Pop-Tarts Bowl for an entire afternoon because of the trophy, and then moved on with their lives.
Right.
Pop-Tarts has proven very, very good at harnessing these little media moments that they can use to make themselves look cool. It is the year of our Lord 2024. Pop-Tarts not a sponsor, probably won't be after I say this. I don't know a whole lot of people eating Pop-Tarts right now.
Well, that's why they're sponsoring the bowl.
That's why they're sponsoring the bowl game.
Yes.
That's why they're sponsoring the bowl game. This trophy, number 1 on the charts, full stop. Full stop.
I think so.
And it's not just this. They also now have a third mascot. Did you see this now? They've got a third mascot.
No.
The frosted cinnamon roll frosted cinnamon roll Pop-Tarts flavor
Okay.
is going to serve as the third mascot at this year's Pop-Tarts Bowl, giving it an opportunity to win the role of edible mascot at the annual college football bowl game. Quote, appearing as an edible mascot along frosted hot fudge sundae and frosted wild berry, frosted cinnamon roll will compete to achieve the ultimate pastry dream of being eaten by the winning team, the company said in a press release, end quote.
Is it still like the giant edible?
I believe
like
so.
The
Yeah.
coach or the winning team can eat
I believe so.
Giant Pop-Tart, humanized Pop-Tart.
That's right.
You know when you watch 60 Minutes, everybody take a knee here for Dan's old man segment here.
Yeah.
You watch 60 Minutes when they're like, a new supercomputer could change the way the world processes information forever. And they
Yes.
show that supercomputer. There's one in Vancouver and there's one in Cologne or, some sort of European city.
It's always the size of a full,
Yes.
clean room or something.
Yeah, it's the size of a medium-sized SUV.
That's right. That's right.
And they do those stories, or it's something in biotech where they're like, there's an artificial heart being developed
Yeah.
that will completely eradicate the Widowmaker
That's right.
heart attack, right? And there's just like they have the scientists and they're in the lab and there's petri dishes and CT scans. There's all that. I think this trophy deserves the full Steve Croft treatment in its development and how it's changing bowl trophies forever. Because
they're pushing things forward. They are pushing things forward.
I agree.
Myrtle Beach Bowl, 68 Ventures. I'll get to the Bahamas Bowl. Oh my God. They got some ground to make up here, man.
The MVP of this, by the way, big year for Pop-Tarts. Wasn't the Seinfeld movie this year?
Yes.
I don't think it got great reviews, but
I saw it. I enjoyed it.
Have Seinfeld sing the national anthem in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Have him do something. And have the MVP, whether it's Cam Ward, whether it's Jaden Higgins, whoever it is, appear on like a commemorative Pop-Tarts box.
Here is the question now for these guys. Where do you go from here?
Oh, what's the next step in Pop-Tart technology?
Step? Right, because we've had this conversation time and again with respect to like recruiting announcements and things like that. Everybody's trying to push the envelope, and there was, the guy brought the dog out. They've had hats for an eternity.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I think they ran out of ideas. I think they're just back to doing the hat thing again, or a jersey. But now with the trophy game, you got to assume there are going to be a couple others that try to step up to the plate here.
Oh, I thought you meant where does the Pop-Tart Bowl go next? And there's
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying there's going to be continued innovation in this space now because of what Pop-Tarts has done. In order to stay ahead of the field, they need to do something new next year.
Right. Built-in toasters in the field, built-in toasters wearable toasters that coaches and players are wearing. Toaster shooters that instead of like a t-shirt cannon, you have a tart cannon.
A tart
cannon.
I'm writing this
Please
down.
write all this down. This is all free.
Yeah.
And I would say you could add like to the spirals in the football, like little sprinkle graphics. You could change the football itself.
Oh,
you could
change the football.
Change the ball.
Just
to give it elements of a Pop-Tart.
I don't hate this idea.
A frosted football.
Yeah.
And you got to change the end zones too. You got these big long rectangles. Pop-Tarts are rectangular. Do something with end zones. I don't know, Ty.
Is it possible to change the rules of the football game?
That's asking a lot. That is asking a lot.
These are exhibition games anyway.
Sure. I think you can change what the refs are wearing.
Ooh.
Stripey, some sort of like red stripe representing raspberry Pop-Tarts, blue stripe representing blueberry, or whatever you said, the cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
I think there's opportunity there. Yeah.
We need another.
You flip a commemorative Pop-Tart at the onset of the game.
Yeah. We need another one here. We have one more bet here that we got to add for this one.
Okay.
You have 3 choices for which flavor is going to be the edible mascot. We don't know which it's going to be. They're apparently going to be competing for it.
Okay.
And so you get to pick, Dan, one of these 3. We're going to put it as a bet. Are you picking hot fudge sundae?
Yeah.
Wild berry?
Beef bourguignon? Yeah, sorry.
Or frosted cinnamon roll?
I think cinnamon roll.
The new one.
They're pushing it. Yeah.
Cinnamon roll to be edible mascot.
Yes.
This is easy enough to figure out, right? I think they revealed it at the very end last year. This gives you something to look forward to, okay? We will know what this is, I'm sure. Believe me. Just go
By the
Twitter.
way, to balance out all of this positive free Pop-Tart advertising, I think Pop-Tarts are kind of gross.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine starting your day with a Pop-Tart as an adult, but that's just
nothing but good old fashioned refined sugar to get your day going. Right?
I don't even mind refined sugar, but like, just get a donut or something. Like, if you really want something, like, get something that's better than a Pop-Tart. Anyway, I digress.
Saturday at 4:30, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Believe it or not, presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop.
Yeah, really makes it feel like a classic game.
There's a mouthful in this bowl title, Dan. Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. Snoop is in the title twice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this means they couldn't find another sponsor for it, that they're sponsoring their own thing, and it's just a lot. There's a lot of Snoop here.
I think it's a desperation play. This has always been the game. I mean, I still recognize it as the Insight.com Bowl.
Of course.
The real ones do. But it was, Barstool had this game before. It's gone through a number of iterations, like a lot of these games have had, a lot of different sponsors. The Snoop Dogg Bowl, Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by Snoop and Dre's Gin and Juice.
Yeah, it's their like mixed cocktail drink.
I mean, that's fully, we'll sell it to you. And you're like, okay. Also, thanks for selling us the bowl game. But part of it, it's also stipulated that it's bookended by sponsors. And they're like, okay, whatever you want. Okay.
There's a little bit of Art of Sport LA Bowl hosted by Gronk in this title.
Yes, correct.
Got Miami, Ohio at 8-5, a 3-point favorite over Colorado State at 8-4. Miami's taken on some losses in the portal, Dan, as a lot of MAC teams have. They've got 2 starting wideouts in the portal. Their starting left tackle, their best corner who went to Auburn. I'm not crazy about Colorado State. We bet against the MAC here on Solid Verbal when it comes to bowl season. I'm inclined to go Colorado State here plus those points, if only because Miami's taken on some losses. They lost the conference championship game. Not quite sure where their heads are going to be at here. And I guess a little bit of a closer jaunt for Colorado State to get down to the Arizona Bowl, which I believe they play in Phoenix, right?
Yes.
So I think I'm inclined to go Rams here.
I'm going Rams as well, and that's a mix of the MAC and losing the players that they did. But here's what you all should know about Colorado State, who was fine this year, led by their defense. Offense wasn't anything special in terms of finishing drives with points. This is the record of the teams. These are the records of the teams Colorado State played.
I did see this.
4-8, 6-6, 3-9, 3-10, 5-7, 5-7. I could do this. 7-5, 5-7, 3-9. That's within conference play-ish with Oregon State thrown in there.
That's rough.
Got destroyed by Colorado and Texas, their major conference opponents. So, and lost to that 6-6 team, by the way, by 6 points. Not ideal in terms of having a ton of confidence in the team when you play that many bad to average teams. And the best thing in this game is hypothetically Miami's defense. If everybody were playing, I'm still going to go Colorado State here.
I think we agree on that front. Now, I'm curious to get your thoughts on what we can do for a prop bet, because it's not lost to me that just how we covered Miami, Ohio this year. Sporadically, I'm not going to act like we're a Miami, Ohio podcast.
Right.
But this was not a robust Red Hawks offense this season. They were not noted so much for scoring points. They got drilled in the conference championship game against Ohio. They lost by a 35-point margin.
They were actually okay. They just happened to play Northwestern and Notre Dame the first 2 or 3 weeks of the year.
Still, though, the offense was not very good.
I know, 20s and 30s. So they weren't like scoring Iowa levels of bad offense like these past couple of years, Iowa. Yeah.
My thought is Miami, Ohio points over whatever that number is. I don't know what that number is. We can rely on the betting markets, but I think maybe we go under. Miami, Ohio under the points.
Miami of Ohio under the points.
Under whatever their team total is, I think is an interesting proposition. On the Colorado State side, I think because they're an underdog, I think we should go Colorado State money line.
Okay.
Right?
Great with
Just
that.
Pick them to win.
Yeah.
Straight up. Let's move on. Oh, we have a trophy. I don't know what the trophy is. I have no idea. I couldn't find it.
You couldn't, there has to be a good trophy, right? You would think?
I'm
if
going
nothing else?
I'm going to be very disappointed if Snoop's Bowl does not have an outlandish trophy. But
especially since he's such a football guy.
He's such a football guy. I don't know. It's not.
I see last year's, the Barstool version of it. It kind of looks like an urn.
Yeah.
On a platform.
I'm not into what they did, but that's fine. They don't have it anymore. Now it's Snoop.
Right.
I have not seen a trophy reveal. Maybe we'll get that by the time this game kicks off. Haven't seen it yet. No idea.
I'm seeing at least there's a lowrider in the like introductory graphic.
Yeah.
That'd be cool if there was a lowrider element. I mean, there's a lot that Snoop's known for. And also you got gin and juice, so maybe there's some sort of orange theme to it, although Arizona isn't known for its oranges. Let's hope there's something interesting and fun.
The Saturday at 5:45 game, is called the GoBowling.com Military Bowl, Dan. This is basically a rivalry game between ECU and NC State. ECU 7-5, NC State 6-6. NC State favored by 5.5 points. Play this one in Annapolis, Maryland. I have a weird sort of almost sadistic bet that I'd like to put forth here. I think there will be emotion with this game because it is quasi a rivalry. All right, maybe that's more the case in other sports, but this is a rivalry game. They're both in North Carolina. They're pretty close to each other. I would like to set an over-under of 2.5, maybe 3.5 personal foul penalties.
2.5 personal foul penalties. Okay.
2.5.
How are these teams in terms of, putting you on the spot here. I'm looking it up as we speak in terms of penalties and penalty yardage. Were they two of the, I know there was a change at head coach for ECU.
Yep. Yeah.
Hauser changed a quarterback as well. Actually had a nice end of the year, right?
That's right.
Penalties.
I think we limit it to unnecessary roughness.
Okay.
Or how do we want to phrase this? Because you can get a personal foul for a lot of different things. Right. Personal foul you can get for running or roughing the kicker. Personal foul you can get for a face mask, right?
True.
I think what we're looking for here, I'm trying to find something that encompasses like emotion. So maybe we go unsportsmanlike conduct.
Okay. So 1.5, half?
Let's go over 1.5.
ECU 129th in penalty yardage.
Over 1.5 on sportsmanlike conduct penalties.
Okay. ECU relatively undisciplined this year, but it doesn't say, what kind of penalties.
No. Over 1.5. And let's say NC State's favored by 5.5 points. Yeah. In a rivalry game, usually we say take the points. We'll go the opposite direction. We'll say NC State minus 5.5.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it.
We're doing the opposite just to keep things fresh. I want to tread carefully here because there's a chance there's a story behind this trophy that I don't know.
This is GoBowling, which is
GoBowling.
Is it a bowling chain or just a bowling guideline to find bowling centers?
I believe it's a guide to find bowling places.
Okay.
I don't know where they're getting the coin for the military bowl. I have no idea how this is. That's a lot of Google ads that they're trading on here.
Mm-hmm.
So the trophy's a silver football. I'll say premium pedestal.
Great.
Okay. I believe it is an illustration of the U.S. Capitol on both sides.
That's okay. That's good by me.
Which would make sense. They started this bowl game back in 2008. It was called the Congressional Bowl back then.
Okay.
So I believe there is some tie-in, some significance to, the government and the military, the active service. So I'm not gonna go too hard on this trophy.
Right.
Let's just say when you got the military bowl, though, you got some real room for improvement here.
A lot of creative direction you can go in, yeah.
They could take this thing in a million different directions. So I'm not
Too bad.
crazy about it, but it's, maybe got some more significance than I'm aware of.
I like the bowling tie-in.
Yeah.
Pretty on the nose. Okay.
Also on Saturday, 7:30, the Valero Alamo Bowl. This is a good game. This is BYU 10-2, Colorado 9-3. Colorado favored by 3 points. Looks like a full boat on both sides.
Great.
These teams are both in the Big 12. They did not play. Assuming they're both at full strength, actually sort of kind of ties up some loose ends.
And this is as a result of recent Pac-12 teams maintaining tie-ins.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. I think you prepare for Shedeur Sanders, for Travis Hunter to try and put on a show. You're both going pro. I think provided both of them play, we're going to see like NFL draft tape 101 here.
Sure.
I think they will be very motivated in this one. I do like Colorado's athleticism more. I think that's the difference here, but I think it's a good game. So I would take the Buffs, but something like 34-28. I think points, I think fun.
I think I'm with you there. I think BYU can be very good. I like that it's indoors. I like that this game typically features two entertaining teams because it's, generally 8-4, 9-3 type teams.
Yeah.
In the former Big 12 and former Pac-12. So, yeah, I think the interesting move is probably what the total is in this game.
So the total in this game, if you're just going by what the betting markets have right now, is 54.5 points.
I kind of like the over.
You want to go over 54.5?
Yeah, it smells like a 38-28, 35-31.
Yeah.
I think it has over vibes for me.
I also want to add in a Travis Hunter bet, kind of in honor of him winning the Heisman, right? He won the Heisman. We didn't talk a whole lot about it, but was one of the closest votes we've seen in a good long time. He won by a nose, let's say, over Ashton Ginty, the running back from Boise State. So congrats, Travis Hunter.
Right.
I presume he's going to play in this game.
That's the report. Yeah.
I know Shedeur is playing in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, can we do some sort of combo play? Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders. Total combined yardage, total combined touchdowns.
Well, Hunter can't really do it. I mean, you could take a carry to the house or something without Shedeur.
Right.
I was thinking you were going down the road of like a Hunter 1-2, like a pick and a touchdown catch.
Oh, I like that. I do like that. Why
I
don't
don't
we
know how
say,
you quantify it, but yeah.
Well, we could say Travis Hunter with 1 interception and 1 touchdown.
Okay, the 1+1.
Yeah, and 1 touchdown reception.
The Alamo Bowl 2-step.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I also feel like we should have something on the BYU side. Presumably a Jake Retzlaff bet.
Okay. Longest touchdown pass.
I'm thinking rushing yards.
Jake Retzlaff. Okay, rushing yards. All right.
Retzlaff rushing yards. I want to see if there's a number out there that we can latch onto on the betting markets. My hunch is that it's going to be somewhere around 45, 50 yards. If I had to venture a guess, I would set this at about, let's say 51.5. If there's not a betting line available to us, we'll set it at 51.5.
Ran for 473 this year, led the team in touchdown runs.
Yep.
That's 6.
Yep.
50 yards rushing. That's a big number.
Never know. He's a playmaker, man.
That's true.
Got a silver football that goes to the winner here. The Alamo Bowl. It's premium base. It looks heavy. I found an old version, though, out on Google Images when Mac Brown won it, when he was still at Texas. So we're going way back. And back then, it was still the silver football. They still were doing the Lombardi thing. But the pedestal had the outline of the actual Alamo, which was cool. That was cool. A little bit of the Fenway Bowl going on
like
with
that.
How they handled that base. What they're doing now, it's just they're really leaning into the premium look of the silver base. And I just can't get behind this. I just can't get behind this. You can do so much because the shape of the Alamo is iconic.
Yes, of course.
And they're like, just give away a big silver Alamo.
Yeah.
You don't even need the football. Who cares about the football? We all know it's a football.
You don't need it.
We know it's a football game. You don't need that. Give me the Alamo.
And there's so much like iconic imagery with the state of Texas, with San Antonio, with obviously the Alamo. We don't need that. I want to say was this Mac Brown's final game as the Texas head coach, was the Alamo Bowl?
Oh, wow. That's a deep
I think
cut,
it was
man.
a loss to Oregon in 2013.
That's a deep cut. I know
it was
he
the
won it.
Helfrich, Aliati, Marcus Mariota Oregon team.
He won it at least once because I found the image of it.
Yeah, I think it was 2013. Okay.
Also on Saturday, 9:15, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. Okay, we need to talk about this trophy.
All right, please.
We need to talk about this trophy. I am going to send you a screen grab right now. While I am vamping here, I want you to take a look at this thing and give me your honest to goodness thoughts on this, because suffice to say, I have many. This is a game that also, a little bit of a zag. It is Army at 11-2. Originally, they were playing Marshall, but Marshall opted out. The whole team opted out.
They're all gone, yeah.
Because they're all kind of in the portal. Team is donezo. They said, nah, we're not playing this game, which means Louisiana Tech at 5-7 is in. As such, Army is a 16.5 point favorite. Got to be honest with you here. Tough ask for La Tech. All right. This is a tough one. Tough to get Army still on somewhat short notice. Louisiana Tech's defense actually is not that bad. Their offense is atrocious.
Their run defense is especially good.
It's okay, but their offense is so bad.
Yes.
I don't see any way this game is close. Now, I could be wrong about that, but I'm going to go as one of our bets here, Louisiana Tech plus the 16.5, just to kind of play into the fact that I'm always wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I also think we need a Bryson Daly touchdown bet.
Running behind the Joe Moore Award winning Army offensive line that ran for like 3 yards a carry in November.
We'll say over 3.5 touchdowns. Total touchdowns.
I like that because I'm not so sure. Okay. Yeah. I think that's a good number.
You want to go 4.5? You want to go?
No.
lower?
Louisiana Tech stopped the run this year. They finished 13th in EPA rush defense nationally. They did a good job. Maybe it's a product of who they played, but still.
One other interesting bet here that we could look at. Bryson Daly passing attempts in this game.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Like maybe we ditch the TD thing since that's a little bit overused, but I'm looking at this. Bryson Daly passing attempts.
So I have the numbers at the ready.
What did he do this season?
Here's what he did the last 5 games. 4, 8, 17, 2, 16. Wow. He only had 8 against Notre Dame and followed up with 17 and 2 against UTSA and Tulane, quality teams. So it's all over the place. So 6.5, 7.5.
I was going to say 4.5. Why don't we set it at 5.5?
5.5 passing attempts. Okay.
Oh, I like that. I like this bet a lot.
16 against Navy.
I like this bet a lot.
3 picks.
He had a throw against Navy. They were down.
I know.
What do you think of this trophy?
Did you send it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is, what did you say? This is the Independence Bowl?
This is the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl, yeah.
It looks like it's a 2-tiered trophy with the fleur-de-lis in the middle, if that's what I'm saying.
Fleur-de-lis, yep.
A golden football closer to the base.
Right.
And then an eagle with its wings open, holding an American flag.
And are those swords? Is the pedestal made of swords?
It's a good question. I can't make it out.
They look like swords to me.
Interesting.
The first
That's
thing
a
that
very
jumps out
intense
to me,
trophy, and it's the 13 colony American flag.
That's right. The first thing that jumps out to me is that this thing has to be at least 5 or 6 feet tall. It's huge.
It looks large, yeah.
You've got the gigantic eagle on top, which is fine, pro eagle. Then you got the football, but like you said, underneath the pedestal. You got what looks like swords, the fleur-de-lis. A lot going on here. Okay. Last year's version, I don't know if they still have it on this one. It also had a Lee Michaels Jewelers trophy on it because back in 2012, he bailed them out by making a brand new one after the Missouri Tiger accidentally broke the real one.
Yes.
Okay, so they paid some homage to him, put his name on it. I don't know if
Lee
he's
Michaels, there it is.
Yeah, you see that at the very top?
Yeah, I was wondering what that was. Yeah.
I looked that up. This is the kind of detail I put into this research. My problem is this. They get an E for effort. What they need is a project manager next time. Okay. This thing is all over the place.
Yeah.
This is like Cam Newton's Heisman speech. This is every idea that somebody fed them, they put on the trophy.
It's like designed by Homer Simpson.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. It is every trophy idea rolled into one here.
Yeah.
So I commend their efforts. There are freelance project managers that are available, I got to believe, out on LinkedIn or even Fiverr. I would suggest that Radiance Technologies, with all of that defense money they are getting, go out, talk to a trophy project manager. Let's do this thing right in time for 2025. Okay.
How do you fly home with this?
You have to put it on its own drone, man. You can't. I don't even think you can fly this thing. It might not be legal enough to fly. You gotta take this one cross country in like a U-Haul. It's huge.
By the way, just because you're a bird person, you're a bird human.
Yeah.
Where do eagles rank obviously eagles are majestic. We can all agree eagles are majestic.
Incredible. Yeah.
But in terms of birds of prey, are they considered a raptor? Is
they
there
are
like
a
a
raptor.
subset? Yeah.
Very much a raptor, yeah.
Are they of the more interesting raptors in your life? Like, how pumped would you be to see an eagle wherever you go birding? Like, are they not as interesting as falcons or hawks, or take your pick of raptors? Are they boring interesting, or are they cool interesting?
They're the best, and the reason they're the best is because you can always spot them. Now, unless it's a juvenile eagle, which tends to look like a couple other of the birds of prey.
Sure.
You can't miss a mature eagle because you've got the bright white head and the tail.
Well, that's a bald eagle, right? There aren't there various kinds of eagles?
Well, there's a bald eagle and there's a golden eagle, which we don't see at all around here.
Right.
All right, at least not in my neck of the woods.
That's Southern Miss?
Southern Miss, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so golden eagle, those are huge. Those are huge. Unless you're seeing one in like some sort of nature preserve or something like that, you're not going to spot one of those out in the wild. At least not here. Not usually. I think there have been on rare occasions. So for me, the bald eagle, always a cool spotting. Because you never used to see him. Now you see him all the time. And when you see it, you can't miss it.
Sub-question. Is there like a good eagle population given your proximity to Philadelphia?
There are a ton of eagles around here.
There are a ton of eagles there. So
eagles.
Calling them the Philadelphia Eagles is not out of line.
No, there's a ton of eagles everywhere, to be honest.
That's true.
They're all over the place. Have you seen one out there?
I don't know if I have. I'll say I've got a really good bird story. I don't know if I told you my recent hawk story.
Recent hawk story?
Yeah, I've got a recent hawk story.
Oh, I think you did tell me this one.
Did I send you the video too? I didn't
know there was a video.
There is an attached video of. We had a lot of bowl games to get through.
Yeah, we'll zip through these. People don't care. Talk to me about the hawk.
So I got a text message. Maybe we just said this on the Patreon show. I got a text message from my neighbor who's great, who was like, in case your kids want to learn about how violent nature is,
oh yeah,
there's a hawk ripping apart a rabbit on our joined fence between our homes. And friend, let me tell you something. He did not exaggerate. This hawk was going to town, ripping out the innards of a rabbit, which is, I mean, this is nature, man. I don't know what to tell you. Kids were watching and they're like, what is he doing? They weren't scared though. They were just like, whoa, crazy.
Yeah.
And after every bit that the hawk would pull out of this rabbit, he would look up, he or she, I don't know who the hunters are, he or she would look up and make sure everybody was seeing the damage he was doing.
It was a bit of a showman too, no less.
An absolute showman on this fence.
Wow.
Just ripping apart this poor rabbit. Yeah, I took video of it. I'm happy to if you want to. I took video and it was so cool. I don't know what to tell you, man. I like all those like nature is metal accounts. It's great.
What did Jody with an eye think?
It wasn't the favorite video that she had ever seen,
right,
in our neighborhood. But what are you gonna do? These animals gotta eat.
They live out there, man.
Yeah, we're in their world.
We're in their world. All right, where do we leave it? Oh, Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Music City Bowl, TransPerfect Music City Bowl. This is Iowa at 8-4. This is Mizzou at 9-3. Mizzou favored by 3 points. Both Caleb Johnson and Luther Burden have opted out. I believe Brady Cook is going to play for Mizzou. I believe. I do not know that for sure.
Great.
This one appears to me to be a rock fight, Dan. This looks like rock fight written all over it. Did you get those vibes?
I did. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think first things first, we need to look at the over-under total, which right now is 40.5 points, which is kind of a bad NFL game.
By the way, if you want to, in post, Ty, say, speaking of Hawks, as we get into Iowa.
Speaking of Hawks.
That's called an after-the-fact segue, folks. Continue.
We're going to continue the trend of just betting against my initial or putting a bet on the card that is against my initial thought.
Yeah.
I said rock fight. Let's go over 40.5 points or over whatever the total is here on the betting markets. Okay.
I like that.
That's going to be on the betting card. Where are you at on this game?
So who's starting at quarterback for Iowa? I know Cade McNamara is gone.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be a competition per Kirk Ferentz or somebody on the Iowa staff.
Yeah.
It's a competition over the next couple weeks between Jackson Stratton and Brendan Sullivan.
Got it. Okay. I think I like Mizzou here. Their losses are, they're not good losses per se, because I did watch the Mizzou Texas A&M game, but they are losses to teams who were vaguely in the playoff conversation in November.
Yeah.
So in terms of who they lost to, not how they lost, the opportunity to win 10 is a net good thing.
I'm thinking some sort of field goal bet here.
Okay.
Longest field goal in the game.
46.5?
Longest field goal over 46.5 yards.
Okay.
I like that. I'm on Mizzou. I got it like 20-13.
That sounds about right to me.
My final.
Yeah.
This is a trophy that I'm proud to say has defined its own class, its own category.
Okay.
And I am calling that category Tacky Tombstones.
Okay. Music City Bowl trophy. Yeah.
You'll see what I'm talking about. It's a football. It's on a base.
Yeah.
However, the base is sort of flat like a tombstone. Okay.
Yes.
Flattened like a tombstone. Almost has the stone pattern that you see on a tombstone.
Yes.
On that base. It's got a football at the top, so they're playing into the Lombardi thing, but there's a little bit of flattening with that football as well. So it looks like a tacky tombstone is what this looks like to me. Now, they do have a music note drawn on the laces of the football because this is a Music City Bowl, so they're at least showing some creativity here. I think there's a lot of room for improvement. I am not satisfied at all with this trophy. It seems like a bit of a cop-out to me.
Man, it's Nashville, right?
There's so much going on in Nashville. One of the great cities in our union.
Well, let's not go crazy. But
I've actually never been there. I have no idea.
Oh, it's fine.
I've heard good things.
I like Nashville fine. But like you just throw around the word great. You just hit by bachelorette party after bachelorette party. It's not the best. You can do better with the country music situation, honky tonks, whatever.
Yep.
You could do better than what this trophy looks like for sure.
If you look at the football after a few adult beverages or maybe something else, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
That football either looks like a music note or looks like a shark. Could look like some sort of prehistoric bird skeleton. It really depends on where you're at in life, what you see when you look at this football trophy.
I just think for a lot of these bowl games, the budget to pay a graphic designer is so limited for a trophy that very few people are going to remember and see, that you have to have a memorable sponsor like the Pop-Tarts Bowl to
Yeah.
really invest in the creativity, because Pop-Tarts is all in. And by the way, subplot to the Pop-Tarts Bowl here is that Miami had a really good year and that they end up in a silly bowl game, like a silly named bowl game, even though it's like a quality bowl game in terms of where we are in the bowl structure. It's hilarious that Pop-Tarts and Cheez-It are just like prominently featured during bowl season, and yet like a weird insult to have a good year and end up in a bowl game named after a toaster strudel. It's just a funny turn of events. That's all. Okay.
Tuesday, high noon. This is New Year's Eve. We've got a playoff game later in the day, mind you.
That's
the
true.
Fiesta Bowl between Boise State and the winner of Penn State SMU. But earlier in the day, it's Alabama at 9-3, a 10.5 point favorite against Michigan. Finished the year at 7-5 with that win over Ohio State. Kalen DeBoer isn't expecting many opt-outs. They do have some guys that transferred out, notably Devontae Smith, the corner, not the one that used to be there. The corner went to Notre Dame.
Yes.
Justice Haynes also in the portal, the running back, as well as Kobe Prentice, Kendrick Law, both of whom are out wide. I have no idea how this game is close if Bama plays its guys.
Yeah.
So my initial thought is one of our bets should be Michigan plus 10.5 points. Go the opposite of tie here. Michigan plus the points.
Go against all of your instincts here.
That's right. That's right. So you could get all of them right if you go against all of my instincts, but I think Michigan plus the points is an interesting way to look at this one, since it seems like it should get out of hand. I really trust Alabama to win, even if they're playing at, I don't know, half strength against Michigan, Dan.
So if Alabama plays its B game, how many points does Michigan need to score to either cover or win? We've seen what their F game looks like when they scored 3 points against Oklahoma.
To cover, 13.
Okay. You think Davis Warren
No.
can get them to 13 points?
No, I don't. What I'm struggling with is, what will Alabama's frame of mind be? Will Alabama give a damn about this game?
Hard to know. First-year coach.
You know, that's why the Michigan bet actually makes a little bit of sense, because it's a lot about motivation in these bowl games. And I just don't know if Alabama's going to want to be there, even if they play all their guys. I don't think they're above any kind of stinker here in a bowl game.
It is a revenge spot, kinda.
It is
with the Rose Bowl last year. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, neither of these teams are coached by the same person.
No, they aren't.
I think Alabama covers this game. It's an opportunity for some younger guys to shine. With the opt-outs, Michigan should probably have. What did you say? Donovan Edwards out, Colston Loveland out.
Yeah, I have not seen clarity on those guys.
I'm almost positive I saw
Okay.
Donovan Edwards out.
Let's keep this one simple. Michigan plus 10.5, Alabama minus 10.5. You pick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which one do you think?
Alabama minus 10.5.
Yeah. So this is a Lombardi Trophy, Dan, that I would say got a divorce from its football and it just started dating again. That's how I would classify this trophy. It's sort of like a silver monolith.
Okay.
Like if you told me this is one of the things floating above New Jersey right now, I'd totally believe you. I don't know. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. It's just a silver thing.
Yes.
It's like something you want at a corporate retreat.
Yes.
It looks impressive. It has no meaning attached to it whatsoever. As far as I can tell, there's no story behind it. It's just a thing.
Is it a hexagon?
I don't know what it is.
No, but isn't that what the six-sided shape is?
I guess, but I don't know what this is. So like, it's the Lombardi Trophy, but imagine just the base, but maybe more of a modern shape.
Right.
And that's the thing that you get.
They're steering into the palm tree of it all, right? There's palm trees etched into it. So why not just have some sort of silver palm tree of some kind?
Exactly.
I mean, what else is Tampa? Is the strip club capital of America?
Pro wrestlers. Pirates. They got the Gasparilla Festival.
Brad Johnson.
Put Brad Johnson on the trophy.
Why not?
I don't know.
By the way,
what does ReliaQuest do?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Can we have a new segment? Let's all take a knee for Dan's mean minute. Dance Mean Minute. You said the Boise State Fiesta Bowl is happening.
Yeah, later. in the
Late.
day.
That's I think the evening time, right? 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
7:30
New Year's
Eastern
Eve?
time. Yeah.
Yes. We saw all the get-in prices of the first round. I think Notre Dame's is far and away the most expensive get-in price.
That's right.
By the way, another Notre Dame Tyler in my life going to the game.
Okay.
A preschool dad, and he was like, "Guess what?" He was like, "I got into a box, and I don't do well with the cold." I was like, "Good job, man. Great job." What is the get-in price for the Fiesta Bowl for a Boise State SMU Fiesta Bowl? Is it $19? Is it $27 to get into University of Phoenix or whatever that stadium is called now? Is it $41? You get to go to a playoff game? $36?
It's something that you sign up for online, and
Is it a Groupon game?
they tell you the day of if you get the tickets for free.
Right.
It could be a Groupon game, yeah.
Like, if it is SMU Boise State, should we raise money to send a bunch of fourth graders to this game to help fill out the stadium and give?
We would need to pay for the bus to get them there, and that's it. And get in for free.
Listen, I'm going to intently watch every single playoff game, including a possible Boise State SMU playoff game. Enthusiastically watch. I don't care whether or not TV executives are happy or crazy upset, but that's a nightmare scenario. That's going to ruin the new year of somebody at ESPN. Anyway,
Yeah,
continue.
that would be bad. That'd be very, very bad. Let's keep going, though.
All right, so I admit that was me. That was Dan's Me Minute. Thanks for tuning in.
Also, New Year's Eve, 2 p.m., the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Louisville at 8-4, 2.5-point favorite. Washington at 6-6. We got Tyler Shuck, Ja'Cory Brooks, both opting out on the Louisville side. Looks like Damon Williams is going to be the starter in the bowl game for Washington. You may recall Will Rogers got benched. Final game of the season. I'm on Washington here, man. I'm on Washington. I think Washington wins this game.
Okay.
So one of our bets needs to be Louisville minus 2.5. Okay. We're just going the opposite of Ty because I've been so bad this year. Louisville minus 2.5 is one of our plays. You can come up with another one, of course.
Right.
But we don't have to. I think Louisville minus the number is an intriguing start. Where are you at here? You like Louisville even if they're starting somebody else other than Tyler Shuck?
So Washington's down their defensive coordinator, moving on to North Carolina.
That's right.
Washington made a quarterback change at the end of the season.
That's right.
They're down at least a couple of key players to the portal. One of their starting linebackers, I want to say, Kamari House. There's always going to be a team here that too many players are hungover for this game after going out in El Paso the night before. It's like Washington just won 56-3. That was weird. What happened? Oh, I got it. I got you. There's always seems to be like behind the scenes drama happening at the Sun Bowl.
Yeah.
By the way, Sun Bowl dream bowl for me.
Oh, yeah.
Mexican food, mariachi bands.
I love it.
Perhaps a warm Texas afternoon. Free Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
It's a dream for me.
Can we add to the card here a surprise Washington blowout?
Yeah, surprise. Somebody's gonna get blown out. I don't know if it's Washington. I don't know if it's Louisville.
Let's say here. I'm going to get rid of my Louisville bet. I'm going to say one team to win Sun Bowl by 17.5 points. 16.
It's always an oddball result. This was the Oregon State Pitt game, right?
Yeah.
Way back when.
That's right.
This was Notre Dame obliterating Oregon State last year when Jonathan Smith left. Like, there's always something odd in this game. So, yeah.
Is 17 enough? You want to go 20 and
17 points. Somebody wins this game by at least 16.5 points.
We got a silver football atop a pedestal, Dan. It's a pedestal that's big and square, and the only saving grace here, I'd say, is that the base is a replica of the Sun Bowl Stadium, which is a neat venue. It's really
That's cool. Yeah, and the sort of the rocks of El Paso.
Rocks and the football's kind of rising out of it, so it's fine. They could do better, but at least there is something of like a tie-in to the actual game here.
Okay.
Unlike the
that works for me.
ReliaQuest one.
I still recognize the Brute Sun Bowl.
Oh, yeah. No, I go by the Brute Sun Bowl.
Yeah.
Also on Tuesday, New Year's Eve, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
Okay.
Got South Carolina 9-3, a 9.5 point favorite. We got Illinois also at 9-3. We got Pat Bryant, the wide receiver for Illinois, opting out.
Saw that.
I have seen Kyle Kennard opt out on the South Carolina side. There are others that could opt out, like Rocket Sanders. I think Carolina big. I really like Carolina in this game. I feel like this is one of those games that Shane Beamer does well in. He just finds a way to motivate the troops.
Were we talking about a former Duke's Mayo Bowl champion, Shane Beamer?
We are talking about a former Duke's Mayo Bowl champion, Shane Beamer.
Okay. So in terms of novelty or gimmicky bowl sponsor games, Shane Beamer doesn't mess around.
Shane Beamer does not mess around.
So I'm going South Carolina here as well, especially without Pat Bryant for Illinois and Lenora Sellers, aka the creator.
Yeah.
Good vibes with South Carolina. Yeah, let's go.
Illinois plus 9.5 or plus whatever point spread as one of our bets.
Okay. Going against your gut.
Going against my gut. I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay.
This is a bowl of fruit. It's a citrus bowl. That's a trophy. I think the Cheez-It logo that they put on it kind of diminishes the fact that it's like a timeless trophy with a bowl of fruit. So I don't think Cheez-It's going to be a sponsor anytime soon. I love their work, by the way, with the white cheddar Cheez-Its. I don't know if you've ever had those.
That's your selection? I'm sure I have.
It's got definitely like an addictive quality to it.
Yeah. It's called Science, Ty. Science creates the Cheez-It.
It's beautiful. The white cheddar Cheez-It is a work of art.
Okay.
This trophy, though, is diminished by that logo on it.
Is it the logo or is it a full Cheez-It like bronzed on a stand?
No, it's sort of just like the logo atop.
That's too bad.
Kind of on the pedestal here. But they're like, I don't want to dock them too much. They're caught between a rock and a hard place. They're the ones that are sponsoring the Citrus Bowl. So you can't really change the trophy around that much.
I know.
It's been around forever. I think it's the right trophy. Now, they are trying to push the envelope by doing like the dumping of the Cheez-Its on the coach and that type of stuff. So they're trying to push,
for 'em. Okay.
Trying to innovate in other ways. But the trophy, I think, is off limits here. I get where they're coming from. They're a bit limited.
So that's been the big thing, is the dunking out of the Gatorade container. We had like the French fries in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, the mayo, of course, the mayo drop, the Cheez-Its. What about, instead of a confetti launch out of a cannon, we had Cheez-It dust.
Oh, man.
Shot into the air.
Yeah.
What state is this in? This is in Florida, right?
It's a Citrus Bowl, yeah.
Anything goes.
Anything goes in Florida.
There is no EPA that is going to prevent you from shooting Cheez-It dust into the air, covering the winning team in Cheez-It dust.
So we're thinking a little bit of like LeBron James with
absolutely
with the
the powder
before the game,
yes.
where he throws it up in the air, but you're thinking Cheez-It dust.
I am thinking some sort of Cheez-It cloud, dust cloud, to celebrate in the most disgusting way the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl champion. Yeah.
I don't hate this.
It's a lawsuit waiting to happen, but anything goes. It's Florida.
It's Florida. No, you're good.
Yeah.
Also, on New Year's Eve, 3:30, the Kinders Texas Bowl. It is Baylor at 8-4. It is LSU at 8-4. LSU's favored by 1. We got both starting tackles and tight end Mason Taylor opting out for LSU. CJ Daniels, their wide receiver, also in the portal. He's not going to play. Garrett Nussmeier will. At time of recording, he's coming back, still coming back.
Right.
I've also seen that Kyron Lacey is still in. Time of recording. These things could change. LSU's got a bunch of guys that we'll have to wait and see. My sense is this. This looks like a fun game. Brian Kelly does not lose bowl games to teams he's better than. He doesn't lose bowl games like this. He will lose bowl games to teams that are better than him. He will not lose to Baylor in this game. I am certain of that. So if I had to do lock of the week, I would go LSU plus or minus the 1 point. Basically LSU straight up.
Okay. I don't know if I have a lean in this game. Where's this game being played? Where's the Texas Bowl?
The Texas Bowl is being played in Houston, NRG Stadium, the Nerve.
Okay, so obviously in the footprint sort of both of these teams. So there's no geographic advantage for Baylor or LSU.
Over-under is 59.5 points. So Vegas is looking for a fun game.
Yeah, I guess I lean LSU here. Vibes seem pretty down, both with recruiting and portal and the way LSU finished the season. Vibes seem pretty up for Baylor in the moment with the way they finished the season. Saved Dave Aranda's job.
Yeah.
I think I might go Baylor here.
You're going Baylor.
I think I might go Baylor because you're talking about an LSU team when they cared, really struggled on defense.
Well, look, my lock was or would be LSU, so let's go Baylor.
Yeah.
+1 as one of our bets.
Yep.
Let's also do longest touchdown pass or just longest touchdown in this game.
Okay.
Because it feels like this one's got big play potential up and down. Those are our two bets.
So what's the number?
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna go based on whatever the line gives me, whatever the market gives me when we set this. But if I don't have that at my disposal, I would put it at 64.5 yards.
Okay. Do you know what Kinder's Kinders is?
No idea.
Barbecue sauce.
Oh.
Barbecue sauce, gravies, bone broth.
No, that's the good stuff.
Wing sauces, teriyaki sauces.
Okay.
Looks like they've got some dips and seasoning mixes.
Nice.
It appears to be available right by me.
Okay.
So they're nationally distributed. Kinder's Kinders been around since 1946.
Beautiful.
Makes sense with Texas.
Sure. So you know how when you go to like a national park or a monument and they have those inscribed plaques that are elevated at an angle so that you can read them?
Yes.
This trophy is not that.
Okay,
but
good.
It's not that either. This is trading a lot on a quality base, but they basically built it with the constraints of a trophy case in mind. You have to Google this. Go wherever you're at. Go and Google the Texas Bowl trophy. I'm underwhelmed by this, to say the least. There have been different iterations of it. The latest one that I could find was not doing much for me. Especially now knowing that this is barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce.
You
Texas.
do so much with the barbecue sauce in Texas. But
Houston.
This was a lackluster effort.
It's so disappointing.
There are also some playoff games to discuss within this span of time. We will be doing a separate preview when we get to the quarterfinals.
Of course.
There will be some bets that I pull and add for these games to the bingo card. Okay, so bear that in mind. We won't talk about them because we don't know the matchups yet. I will say this, though. The Peach Bowl trophy, very weak. It's a Lombardi version.
Mm-hmm.
The Rose Bowl also has a Lombardi quality to it.
Yeah.
I think we speak lovingly of the Rose Bowl because it is the Rose Bowl. The trophy, lackluster. It's got to say it. Someone's got to say it, Dan.
Yeah, that's fine.
We've got the Sugar Bowl, which is also going to be played. It is like a little silver football on top of a very ornate-looking chalice on top of the Superdome. There's a lot going on there.
Okay. Love a chalice.
And then there is the Fiesta Bowl, which truly looks like it was a competition to see how many things they could stack on top of other things.
Okay.
Seriously, before we go, I want you to go Google Fiesta Bowl trophy.
All right. Fiesta Bowl trophy. Here we go. Fiesta Bowl trophy. I'm a fast typer.
Explain to me.
Mavis Beacon taught me.
Explain to me what this trophy is supposed to be.
Oh, man.
Besides all the things. This is like Radiance Bowl gone, or Independence Bowl by Radiance Technologies. This is where they got their inspiration.
The Fiesta Bowl trophy is a double base.
Yeah.
With a base, 4 muscle-bound bronzed people holding up a second base.
That's right.
Which is then supporting more muscle-bound or football players amongst gold leaves, sort of setting 2-point stances of some kind with raised purple and gold, looks like an urn, with then a golden football with the Fiesta Bowl sun in the middle of it.
Now look, maybe there is some tie into the local culture.
Yeah.
That I am not aware. Maybe it's a New Mexico Bowl situation.
Right.
In which case, I will happily eat my words.
Right.
I will say this, though. Even if that is the case, there's a lot going on there.
Yes.
That trophy could be 60% less ornate, and it will be 100% better for it.
This
Just
looks
my opinion.
like
Just my opinion.
This looks like what you would present a dictator in an oil-rich country with. Be like, dictator of the year, supreme leader of the year. It's you for the 7th straight year. It's tacky and golden and multi-tiered.
Listen, don't go too far. We don't know if there's a backstory. Okay. I don't know if there's a backstory. It might have ties to rich local culture.
I don't think so, Ty.
I've
spent a lot of time in Arizona.
They could scale it back a little. Okay. A little.
You want to get like, yes, there is an emirate. There is somebody running an emirate, and they have some sort of marbled lobby filled with these trophies. You're like, this is tacky and weird, and you won again. Yeah.
Thursday, the 2nd of January, 7:30. It's TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. We've got Duke 9-3, Ole Miss 9-3. Ole Miss favored by 14.5 points. We got Malik Murphy back in the portal for Duke. I think Ole Miss is way better. That's where I feel. That's why I come down on this game.
I do too, but how many players that played for Ole Miss during the season are playing in this game?
It's hard to say at this point.
I don't know, just between opt-outs and the way that they're portaling, like they're turning over their roster like crazy every year.
So I think one of the bets should be Duke plus the points.
Okay.
Plus whatever. Just to sort of play against my better judgment.
Like I feel as if we're at the start of the Lane Kiffin sulk session between now and next August.
That's right.
So I can understand Ole Miss's motivation against Penn State in a big bowl game last year.
Yeah.
But against Duke in this one, I mean, this would be really nice for Lane Kiffin to be like, no offense, but the ACC just doesn't understand what it's like to play in these types of environments week in and week out and then lose to Duke. That'd be great.
Let's do Ole Miss total team points.
Ole Miss total team points?
And let's set it at like 37.5.
I mean, Duke has a good defense.
37.5, Dan.
Okay.
If Laney wants to run it up.
I love that under. Well, there's no motivation for Ole Miss to run this up at all.
You don't think?
No, zero motivation.
Over 37.5.
Because this is not like when you have a 12-team playoff and you're left out of a 12-team playoff for losing 3 games. An amount of games that would never get you into a postseason conversation.
Well, give me a number then. Give me a point total. Give me an over
27.5, 29.5.
You want to go under 27,
31.5, somewhere in there.
Give me an under for Ole Miss.
I would take the under at 31.5. Yes.
All right. I'm going to jot this down. If we don't have a team points total, we're going to go 31.5. We'll do Duke plus the points. We'll do Ole Miss under.
I'm looking at what Duke's defense allowed this year in terms of points. They played a playoff team in overtime and allowed 28 points.
Okay.
In overtime at home. Okay. They allowed, mind you, they allowed 53 to Miami. A Pop-Tart champion eligible Miami.
That's right.
But otherwise, they kept most teams between like 20 and 24 points.
All right.
Ole Miss is better than most teams, but not without motivation. Yeah, I don't know. 31.5.
This is a weak effort in the trophy front. This is a Lombardi Trophy, creative enough base. It's the Gator Bowl. They did nothing with that. They could have done so much with a bowl titled the Gator Bowl.
Or they could have done something with TaxSlayer and had like a sword in like a bejeweled sword or something like that and work into the Slayer.
This is just weak.
Yeah.
I don't know what TaxSlayer is paying for this, but throw in a few extra bones and get a good trophy. This is just, no, this isn't doing it for me. This is lower tier among all the bowl games.
Yeah.
Friday, January the 3rd, 4 p.m., the SERVPro First Responders Bowl between North Texas at 6-6 and Texas State at 7-5. Texas State favored by 10 points. I'm on Texas State here.
Okay.
Because North Texas is going to be starting a freshman at quarterback who's got, limited experience. They've got a couple starters on offense who are also in the portal.
One of whom I think just committed to Oregon today.
I
of
saw
their
that.
tackles. Yeah.
I haven't seen, like, this is one of the things that we don't know for sure at time of recording. It's part of what makes these shows almost impossible to do in advance. Just because a guy's on a portal, as we discussed a little bit when we talked about Bo Prabula on the last episode, or one of the last 2 episodes, it's difficult to know if you're in the portal, if that means you are also opting out. Because in a lot of cases, they still play. They're just going to go elsewhere. In some cases, team policy, they're off the team. I don't know what the deal is here. I don't know how many of these guys are going to be playing for North Texas or not.
Right.
Either way, I think it's a distraction. And either way, I think Texas State is the better team. This is not a game I look at and I say defense. So I think one of the interesting bets that we could put in here is a defensive touchdown in this game.
Okay. Set at a half?
Just
in general? Okay.
Yeah.
A defensive touchdown is scored in this game. North Texas, a big struggle bus on defense this year, and Texas State, one of the best 15 or 20 offenses in America.
10 points is the line. It's a big number.
Okay.
But I think I favor Texas State here.
As do I.
This is a light up trophy, Dan. Finally, we get one.
I like that.
Finally, we get one. Sort of a police light situation on top with a button on the back that turns it on. It is marvelous. It is marvelous. So if your basement floods or you got fire damage or you need someone to come in and restore your house, SERVPro is the company for you. Not a sponsor, could be.
Yep.
Also, support this company because they know how to build a trophy.
Lighting it up.
They light it up. I feel like they are lighting the way, no pun intended, for where trophies head next. There's a lot of potential here for light up trophies, and there just aren't a whole lot of teams doing it. So Pop-Tarts zoom past the field. They're the yellow car in RC Pro-Am. They're way out in front at this point.
Yeah.
But SERVPro's been here doing this for the last 6 years now with the light up trophy. And I got to believe that people are going to start taking notice and trying to model theirs after these guys. So
cutting edge trophy technology. They might go bankrupt, but they'll go bankrupt because of R&D with regard to trophies given out for mid-level bowl games.
2 more games here. Let's close it out strong.
Please.
Friday, January the 3rd, 7:30 p.m., the Duke's Mayo Bowl, Dan.
Yeah.
Minnesota 7-5, Virginia Tech 6-6. Minnesota's a healthy favorite, about 6.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's Colin Schlee at quarterback for Virginia Tech.
Okay.
I think it was as of December the 13th. We're recording this a few days after. It looked as if Kyron Drones was not going to play.
Okay.
So I'm going to presume it's Colin Schlee. They've also had a couple opt-outs. They have 4 other starters in the portal. When I think of Duke's Mayo Bowl, and I think of coaches around college football that will be able to embody the spirit of the Duke's Mayo Bowl, I can think of maybe 3 other coaches that would do a better job of it than PJ Fleck. This is a game that has PJ Fleck written all over it.
Okay.
He may have to take the Q-zip off before the Mayo bath, okay?
Uh-huh.
But this one's got PJ written all over it. I'm on Minnesota minus the points here.
I am as well. I think there is something about the Minnesota defense and the energy level of Minnesota. Good year for the Gophers. I'm going Minnesota as well. Are you a Mayo person, by the way?
Yes and no. Some people get really aggressive with the Mayo. I always go a little bit of Mayo.
You don't slather?
No. A little bit of Mayo. If they
Light
give me
spread.
the choice on the Wawa sandwich, I always select a little bit of Mayo. Just a little bit to give it a little bit of flavor, but no, not over the top.
I enjoy mayo. I have 2 kinds of mayonnaise in my house right now. I'm a Duke's person and a Kewpie person. Japanese.
What was that?
Kewpie. It's Kewpie. You can find it at most grocery stores.
Kewpie.
It's Japanese mayo that only has the yolks in it.
Okay.
No egg whites whipped into it.
Honestly, you could tell me almost any ingredient and I would believe you that it's in mayonnaise. I have no idea how mayonnaise is made.
It's like whipped eggs. That's all.
Whipped eggs.
Yeah. With some seasoning, but yeah, that's what mayonnaise is. It's not that complicated. I'm going Minnesota here. Yeah. I like mayonnaise. This game's in Charlotte, correct?
This game's in Charlotte, yeah.
If you're in Charlotte, if you are a Minnesota person, if you are a Virginia Tech person, there is a pizzeria that I'm dying to go to in Charlotte called Bird Pizzeria.
Bird Pizzeria?
Bird Pizzeria, which marries, you love birds and you love pizza, Ty.
I do, yeah.
Bird Pizzeria. It looks sensational.
I need a bet for this game.
Um,
Let's close it out strong, man. Come on. This one, we got one more after this.
is Darius Taylor playing in this game?
I have not seen any opt-outs. To play it safe, we can just go rushing yards if that's something that you're interested in.
What about a combine? Because we have two. I mean, if both starting running backs are playing in this game.
I don't know about Virginia Tech on that front.
Right.
But we could do combined rushing yardage.
Combined rushing yardage in this game. 300? Somewhere in there?
Combined rushing yards, we'll say over 289.5.
I can give you the rushing averages this year.
What's the rushing averages?
So, rushing offense, we'll say against conference teams. Minnesota ran for 105 yards a game. That's not that many. 113th in the country. Virginia Tech at 186. So, combined 291.
So I'm pretty close.
Pretty close.
Let's go 289.5 combined rushing yards, and we'll say over. Over for this one. Final game then. The Bahamas. Oh, no, wait, hold on. We got a trophy. It's like a crystal football. This is like the old national championship trophy with the base.
For a Mayo game.
Yeah, no. And like Duke's been pushing the limits here for a few years. They showed that they can solve the problem of the Mayo being too thick and then bonking. Was it Shane Beamer on the head in the first one?
I want to say, did Loxley win this one year?
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah.
But they had to dilute the Mayo so they could pour it out.
Right.
And the next frontier for them is coming up with a better trophy. I mean, this should absolutely be a bronze jar of Duke's Mayo. Something cool, like a little brown jug, but make it Duke's Mayo. Something fun. This is a mayonnaise bowl.
Right.
Don't give out a crystal football. Give like something funny out. Okay, something fun. Now the Bahamas Bowl. Final bowl game, final non-playoff bowl game. After this, it's all playoff games. We'll have the semifinals a couple days after this. We'll have the national championship about 10 days after that. Bahamas Bowl presented by Atlantis Resorts. It's Buffalo at 8-4. It's Liberty at 8-3. Liberty favored by 1 point. Liberty down Caden Salter, 3 linemen. Bryce Dixon along the defensive line. Jamie Chadwell thinks there could also be other opt-outs here, Dan.
Okay.
Liberty's favored by 1. I'm on Buffalo.
I'm on Buffalo as well.
I'm putting Buffalo money line on my sheet.
Buffalo finished the season this year, like a very quietly interesting year for Buffalo. Finished the year winning 4 straight.
That's right.
And scoring a bunch of points in the process. Even though their numbers offensively weren't great all year long, they seem to turn it on near the end of the year.
This is basically just the Myrtle Beach Bowl trophy. They're going to fly it over to the Bahamas when they're done with it, because I don't think whoever wins it there is going to want it.
Right.
This is a poor effort. I am going to combine all of these into the world's longest Twitter thread or longest Twitter post. I haven't decided yet. But I put so much research into this, we're going to do the power rankings out somewhere where people can enjoy them. So you will see more of this from me. But this is a weak effort. Myrtle Beach Bowl trophy style here with the Bahamas Bowl.
Where are they playing this game this year? Because last year was in Charlotte, right?
This game is being played. Let me pull this up. Yeah, they're playing this one at Thomas A. Robinson Stadium.
Okay, they're back in the
Nassau.
Bahamas. They're back in Nassau. Okay.
Yeah, they're back in Nassau. And by the way, Buffalo is now favored by 1.5 points. So
since we both just took them?
I don't know if the line moved since we took them in the last 5 minutes, but it's
Okay.
moved since I made the doc.
Great.
So there you go. Again, playbowlbingo.com is where you can go to get in on the game. We're opening up new bingo cards every week for you to play, participate for prizes. All you need to do is go to that address, playbowlbingo.com, sign up for the free tier of our Patreon. All you got to do is pick 6 of these items. There will be more. I will see if I can fit all of these on. There may be an instance where I have to trim a couple off. If that's the case, I'll pull off some of the ones that aren't as interesting. But each week, you will get an email. All you got to do is click on the link, go fill out a bingo card, and we'll let you know if you win. And that's it. It's totally free. You do have to sign up for the free tier on our Patreon, but we're not spamming people. We just want more people in the game. That's the way it works. Very simple.
So it was the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl, was it
It used
not?
to be Popeyes, yeah.
And were there no Popeyes locations in the Bahamas, but they sponsored the Bahamas Bowl? I think Roger went.
I think Roger went to this
and investigated way
That's right.
back when.
That's right.
Probably a decade ago or something.
Yep.
All right. PlayBowlBingo.com.
PlayBowlBingo.com, Dan. We are clocking in a hair under the hour and 45-minute mark. We did it.
We did it, Ty.
There's a
How
lot of
about us?
talking. There's a lot of bowl games, a lot of bad trophies. Hopefully a lot of fun playing Bowl Bingo at PlayBowlBingo.com. We would encourage you, if you made it this far, by all means, please hit follow or subscribe. My voice is about to cut out. Also of note, before we let the fine people go, we've got live stream a Palooza this weekend. All right. We've got a bowl game, playoff game, I should say. Excuse me. Got a playoff game on Friday night between Notre Dame and Indiana.
Yeah.
Come on over to the YouTube channel, really any of our platforms, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're doing a live watch along stream. Then the following day on Saturday, we're doing another one for Ohio State against Tennessee, 8 p.m. Eastern, all the platforms. And then immediately following the Ohio State-Tennessee game, you and I are going to do our thing where we hop on, we go live, we recap all 4 of the playoff games.
Yes.
At midnight. All are welcome to join, to participate, to sort of relive the action with us.
Yeah. And if you want, I guess, the most immersive possible experience in watching the live watch-alongs or the reaction show, they will also be airing in the Vegas Sphere. So I don't know why they chose these and
It's
not even
weird.
showing the game, but showing
It's so weird. Yeah.
me and Ty at like
Yeah.
150 feet each. But
With like those cool laser beam style speaker systems that they have in place where they
Yeah.
can like beam you with the specific sound that you require. Yeah.
yes, no, the audio is just out of control. We're recording is it binaural? Is that what it's called?
It's very binaural. Yeah. The most
Get-in price
binaural.
is at about $1,500 right now. So hopefully it was a good year for you. But or just go to smelltieshair.com.
Smelltieshair.com will take you to the live.
How are
stream.
you during like a close Notre Dame game as compared to how you are? Like, because we did Penn State, Oregon, a close kind of back and forth game.
It's just going to go to a different level if this game's close.
Okay. Do you
I-
clench up and get quiet? Or do you go
Oh,
the
no.
opposite direction? I go quiet during close Oregon games.
I've seen you during close Oregon games.
It's
You
real
go
tough
quiet.
for me. Yeah.
It depends. I have learned to go quiet because I'm most interested in not scaring my dogs.
Sure.
But if I'm down here kind of in the studio where we don't have to worry about the outside sound getting in or the inside sound getting out,
Of course.
I can really go for it down here, and I plan to.
Nice.
I plan to. Hopefully it will not come to that. If it comes to that, rest assured you'll get it on the stream. Also, I didn't tell you, I talked to Mama H. We're going to call her up at some point and get her kind of real-time reaction to what's going on here.
I love to hear it.
So more to come. Smelltieshair.com. You want me to promote this?
Of course.
That'll take you to the live streams if you're interested in playing along. And of course, playbowlbingo.com, Dan.
All right.
Everybody enjoy the playoff games. Enjoy your weekend. Get the bingo cards in. If you don't get in for the first batch, you can always play the next batch. It's going to be an ongoing thing. About 4 weeks running here. Excited about that. Much more to come on it. We will continue to talk about that. But we've got a busy weekend in front of us. These playoff games are finally going to start up. Feel like we've been
Cannot
talking
wait.
about it forever. For that guy over there, Dan Rubenstein, for myself, Ty Hildenbrandt. Thanks for downloading, for listening, for bearing with us here on a very long show. We'll talk to you all soon. Stay solid.
Peace.